Every night at precisely 11 p.m., she closed her curtains. Lydia's nightly routine was like clockwork. After a long day at work, she would come home, kick off her shoes, heat a microwave dinner, and watch TV until her eyelids grew heavy. At 11 p.m., she'd shut her curtains and go to bed. She never thought about who might be outside, watching. That is, until recently. It started as a feeling. A prickle on the back of her neck while she was sitting on the couch. Lydia brushed it off at first. She had always been a little paranoid, always double-checking the locks before bed, always looking over her shoulder in dark parking lots. It was just her overactive imagination, she told herself. But then she started to notice things. The curtain pull on her bedroom window seemed slightly askew in the mornings. Once, when she came home from work, she found her front door unlocked. It could have been her mistake, of course. Maybe she was rushing that morning. But the creeping unease that settled in her chest said otherwise. One Friday evening, after closing her curtains, Lydia peered through the narrow gap, trying to see if anything seemed out of place. Her street was quiet. A faint drizzle blurred the outline of parked cars and streetlights. No one was there, just the usual emptiness. She let out a sigh of relief. But as she turned away, she saw a silhouette in the bushes across the street. Lydia's heart skipped a beat. She stood frozen, her mind racing. Was it a trick of the light? She blinked, and the shadowy figure seemed to dissolve into the darkness. Gathering her courage, Lydia grabbed her phone and called her friend Emily. She needed to hear a familiar voice, to convince herself she wasn't going crazy. Emily answered on the second ring. "Hey, Lyds, what's up?" Lydia tried to keep her voice steady. I think someone's been watching me." There was a pause on the other end. "What do you mean? Like, at your place?" "Yes. I've been getting this feeling. I thought I saw someone outside just now. I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting." No, you're not," Emily said quickly. "Stay on the line. I'm coming over right now." The wait felt like hours, but it was only 15 minutes before Emily arrived. Together, they checked all the locks and windows, making sure everything was secure. They searched Lydia's yard, but found nothing. The bushes were empty, and the street was silent. Maybe it was nothing, Lydia admitted finally, though her voice still trembled. But it felt so real. Emily stayed over that night, and they talked until Lydia fell asleep. The presence of a friend eased the anxiety, and Lydia drifted off, telling herself that everything would be better in the morning. But when Lydia woke up, the first thing she noticed was her bedroom window. The curtain was drawn back, just slightly. Enough for someone to look in. Her breath caught in her throat, and she sat up, her heart pounding. Had she left it like that? She couldn't remember. She reached for her phone, needing to see if Emily was still there, but as she did, something caught her eye. A small, folded piece of paper sat on her nightstand. With trembling hands, Lydia picked it up and unfolded it. Written in messy, hurried script were the words, "I see you." The room spun, and Lydia dropped the note as if it had burned her. Her heart raced, and her hands shook. She ran to the front door, flinging it open, her voice breaking as she called for Emily. But Emily was already gone. No one answered. Lydia stood alone in her doorway, the morning sun casting long shadows down the empty street. Her mind raced. Who could have left the note? And how did they get inside? She didn't know. She only knew one thing for certain now: someone was watching her, and they wanted her to know. From that day on, Lydia was never alone, even when she was. Every sound made her jump, every shadow held a threat. She moved away soon after, hoping to leave the fear behind. But no matter where she went, she always felt those eyes on her, always felt the presence lurking just beyond her sight. Because once you've been watched, really watched, you're never alone again.